The Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
Welcome to my unit. So I'll just brief you through the mechanized platform of the Indian Army that we have here.
Sure.
So in mechanized, basically we have armored mechanized infantry, these two things. So I'll just take you around the equipment also and I'll tell you what is the difference between both also.
Okay.
So
what is the difference between a tank? What is it? One is the tank and one is a
BMP.
What is the full form?
It's Boye Machino Picote. It's a Russian term.
Acha, Russian term. Acha.
Yeah. So infantry it's an infantry combat vehicle.
Okay. Similar to tank.
It's similar to tank. The main difference in this is in tank we have a crew of 3.
Okay.
But in this we also have the stick also. Stick are people, infantry people who can get down, dismount and fight.
Acha.
So that capability also we have in a BMP.
Okay.
So basically here now, this is our training area.
Okay.
In which we'll be showing you how a new driver is being trained. We'll show you the obstacle courses that we have and we'll show you completely the way it's happening. So first we just, from here you can see we have the number plates over there, 1, 2.
Right.
These are various obstacles.
Okay.
Which the BMP and the tank will also be negotiating.
Okay.
So we have the tank head which will be leading.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 BMPs.
Okay. So does the tank have a steering wheel or levers or how does it work?
For a tank, it's basically 2 levers we have.
2 levers.
And when it comes to BMP, it is like a steering wheel, but cut steering wheel, like a sports car steering wheel.
Achha.
It's that kind of a steering wheel. It's amphibious. So I'll be showing you that.
Oh, I see.
So ये अभी हम यहाँ
देखेंगे.
अच्छा. Oh, wow. क्या बात है.
From here now, we like to go on a ride.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I join Vasudha live from Chennai where the political heat is rising in the run-up to 2026 Tamil Nadu. Namaskaram, Namaskara, Baunara, Nallar Kingla Vasudha.
Welcome Veera and Namaskar to all our viewers. If Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and DMK are hitting out at each other, Vijay seems all set for the Yatra, the big Yatra. Special focus this evening, Veera, on the battle for Tamil Nadu.
We'll also focus on the big vice presidential face-off and the optics of numbers. But first, let's take you through the headlines. We're tracking this up.
19 people have died in protest in Nepal as a social media ban led to protests in several cities across the country over a ban on social media imposed by the government there. Sources say the government may now be considering a rollback of the ban. The Supreme Court has asked Election Commission of India to consider Aadhaar as a document for identity of voter in Bihar SIR. Situation turns volatile in Mandya district following stone pelting allegedly by miscreants from another community during Ganpati Visarjan.
Straight up, Vasudha, the stage is getting prepared, the pitch is getting set for the battle for Tamil Nadu. Multiple dimensions to it. If it's the DMK versus BJP ideological battle on one side, the center state battle on the other side, the AIADMK's internal contradictions and troubles playing out, as well as actor Vijay getting set for first political yatra in the state. Well, they're all getting ready, Vasudha. Are you ready for battle for Tamil Nadu?
That's right, Veera. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, in fact, has hit out at the DMK, accused the party of a separatist mindset, and that's the latest confrontation between the DMK and the BJP. She has accused the DMK of using the Dravidian ideological argument to divert attention from local issues, from mismanagement, corruption. It sparks off another DMK versus BJP centre versus state exchange.
That's right. MK Stalin, though, he's back from his Europe tour, did not want to get into a war of words with the finance minister. He's asked for his DMK district secretaries to look into the membership drive and how it's going on. So really, all of them getting prepared, Vasudha.
That's right, Veena. Joining us now is DMK Member of Parliament, Arun Nehru. Thank you so much, Mr. Nehru, for speaking to NDTV. My first question to you, sir. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says there is a separatist mindset that dominates your party's Dravidian model of politics. How would you react to that?
Madam, I plainly think that this is a clear misunderstanding from the Honourable Finance Minister's part. Because Tamil Nadu being a net contributor, I think it's just unfair that these comments have come to fruition because of a fair ask for rights, number one. Number two is, Madam is also a union minister. A union means a combination of parts. It's not a unilateral government, but a union government. And Tamil Nadu has always been part of the national narrative right from the independence time. And just because we are asking our rights doesn't mean that, our ideology is wrong. Same yardstick be applied to the Maratha agitation that happened last week under the same BJP government. I think it's, small button in our rights, and I think a very clear understanding of the the dominant attitude at the center.
As you make that point, Mr. Nehru, is it not true that there is a large political element to the allegations made by BJP by the DMK anti-Dravidian philosophy? Isn't that perhaps the core of this ideological exchange between the center and the state and the state and the center?
That's correct, because our ideology delivers. If you take any of the parameters, even if the so-called Dravidian model could deliver on education, healthcare, and in terms of human development indices, in the so-called anti-Dravidian should have also delivered. I think the ideology delivers and the people will accept the model. If we haven't delivered, then, it's in everybody's business. And if there's any other state under the BJP ruled states that can match our HDI indices, I would accept that argument. But I don't see, in the next 5 or 7 years or 10 years that, matching our HDI levels.
Right. Mr. Nehru, the FM also made another important point. She said Tamil Nadu government wants people to come and work for them in the state, but does not want to share the tax money. How do you see this kind of criticism by the finance minister of the country?
So, ma'am, let me reiterate that, all, citizens of this country are my brothers and sisters. So, if in case that a person from works in Tamil Nadu, I think it should be, who should answer for this? I mean, Tamil Nadu welcomes people who work. But if people are not able to find work in Bihar and they have to come outside, I think the answer must be, the person who's ruling Bihar should answer that and not Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu will welcome people who work hard and be part of the social narrative and the social justice movement always known for.
Okay. You're making that point. The BJP and this ideological battle is perhaps for television studios. Would you agree that the real challenge will come from Vijay? He is going to start, or at least he's proposed to start his statewide first political tour from your constituency of Trichy.
Sir, everybody is welcome, to carry on their vision and ideology with respect to politics. And politics welcome challenges. And Tamil Nadu
Okay.
Consistent challenges all across. And I think we will face this through. And we will face this through with the scheme CM has delivered and the development that has taken place in the state.
All right, the development of the DMK government, you say, will take you through. Of course, the opposition and Vijay tend to turn around and say that anti-incumbency will take him through. We'll see how that plays out in the battle for Tamil Nadu. Thanks very much there, Arun Nehru, for joining us here. Vasudha, of course, as I just mentioned, a lot of political action playing out, and not just Vijay. Remember, AIDMK has its own internal contradictions, and K.A. Sengotian has flown off to Haridwar after firing that salvo at Edapadi Palnichami.
That's true, and in fact, there is a question if AIDMK chief Edappadi Palanisamy needs to do so much more to bring all factions of the party together. Veera, like you said, Sengotian has already left for Haridwar, and this even as some of his supporters resigned from the party in protest against his decision to remove Sengotian from the post of organization secretary. Some of his supporters have also been stripped of their posts in the party. Meanwhile, like you pointed out, Veera, actor Vijay has sought permission for a statewide tour starting in Trichy on the 13th of September. Okay, joining us this evening is Kovai Satyan of the AIDMK, Narayan Tirupati of the BJP. We have Veera Vigneshwaran of the TVK and Harish Mohammed Ibrahim, who's a DMK supporter. Thank you all of you for joining us on this broadcast. Kovai Satyan, to you first. The Sengotian episode playing out. There's also this chance of NDA, sort of expanding with other players trying to come in. And in the midst of this, Vijay sending out the signal that he's ready for this big Yatra. How does the AIDMK look at this?
Yeah, our leader has announced his next leg of rally. Starting 17th, it's spread out till the 27th of this month. So far, he has crossed 130 constituencies. By the end of this month, he would have covered 150 constituencies. So there is no stopping. The message from the ground is loud and clear. People have decided for a regime change. And the person who can bring the change and deliver for the people of Tamil Nadu is our leader EPS. The internal factions, frictions are aptly handled by our leader. That's it, it's done and dusted. There is nothing holding us back. 2026 is all set for AIADMK under leader EPS as chief at the St. George Fort. Challenges has to be there on the ground so that we can prove ourselves. And we have already proven enough and more many a times. In the 53rd year of our operation, we have ruled the state for 31 years.
Okay, you're saying you've said 31 years, you've ruled in 53 years, sir, but EPS ruled the state only between 2016 and 2019, and after that the AIDMK hasn't won any elections since the demise of J. Jayalalitha. The question will be put forth. The BJP, Narayan Tirupati, do you think it's a matter of concern that there are voices, two sections in the AIDMK, one which turns around and says that all factions united, a united AIDMK is the only way to take on the DMK? Is it a worry for the BJP, which is an AIDMK ally?
See, our alliance is with AIDMK, and it is very clear that this alliance is being led by Mr. Edappadi Palanisamy of the General Secretary of AIDMK. So, whatever the problems, where you don't have problems in the political parties, even in DMK you have got problems. So that is not our botheration. That they will take care. As Kovai Satyan said, it is their internal issue. Those internal issues will be handled by themselves and not why should we interfere? It is none of our problem. We are poised to win the 2026 election as told by Satyan under the leadership of Mr. Edappadi Palanisamy. NDA will definitely win. This is what everything, what all we have is that. And I don't want to discuss anything about their internal problems. Every party has.
I'd like to respond to that. Every party has problems like this. Kovai Satyan, would you respond to that? Narayan Tirupati sir is saying that every party has problems like this.
See, in a democracy, everybody will try to voice their opinion and whatever time they feel is right. But the face of the party is the General Secretary. And AIDMK is one such party who has faced these kinds of similar issues long ago. There is a history, and there is a history which will state that our leaders are capable to handle these kinds of situations and march forward. To answer the question of continuous losses, till 2021, 8 losses happened because of the dual leadership. Nobody talks about it. They conveniently hide this fact and say that after Edappadi Palanisamy took over 10 losses, 11 losses. Not the case. 7 to 8 losses took place because we went to the mode of dual leadership. That's the reason. We went from dual leadership to single leadership. And after our leader EPS taken charge, settled down all the issues with the judiciary, Lok Sabha was the last defeat, which we would call under the single leadership, wherein the vote percentage was increased from 2019 to 2024, which is a positive and good side.
Right.
The damage was done for 6 years.
I'll take the point that you're making. We'll have to see how this plays out. We'll have to see how this plays out. But let's see what, the TVK is up to. Veera Vigneshwaran, Vijay is proposed to launch his rally from Tiruchi. You still are waiting for police permissions. Who are you going to dent more, AIDMK or DMK?
First of all, divisive and fascist DMK and dynasty in nature is against the democracy of the Tamil people. So, DMK government should be wiped out from the power at any cost. Vetri Thalavar Thalapathy will repeat 1997 when Purachi Thalavar MGR fire against this dynasty DMK. So 1997 will be repeated by our Vetri Thalavar. This is the first message. Second thing is, people of Tamil Nadu lost the faith on dynasty DMK. Why? Because their manifesto is they have failed to meet out the promises they give in 2021 election. So second thing is maladministration from drug movement. We even DMK NRI persons involved in drug mafia. He himself a kingpin of drug movement. Then illicit drugs, illicit alcohol and lock-up deaths, complete maladministration in DMK government. So people of Tamil Nadu angry on DMK as well as BJP will Tamil people never accept the divisive BJP. So persons who are aligned with BJP.
Harish Mohammed Ibrahim, two strong challengers, in some ways consolidating the anti-incumbency sentiment. This clearly means a little bit of a trouble for you, even more trouble for you. How do you see this?
Not at all. There is nothing to be felt trouble in Tamil Nadu as far as the upcoming election is concerned. There is no anti-incumbency. All this has been a narrative which has been trying to set by the BJP and the AIDMK, which has almost 5 to 6 factions as of now. So bringing them all together itself a big dream for them ahead of 2026, which is their internal party matters, which we don't want to get inside. But at the same time, having said that, by 2021, when Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy has sworn in as its chief minister, he's not elected by the people of Tamil Nadu, number one. And number two, he has been elected unequivocally without any concern of the people, and even with their party voices, the party leaders also having a dissent as of now. And number three, if Mr. Edapadi has a clear-cut majority or clear-cut precedence over the Tamil Nadu people is concerned, then he wouldn't be losing almost 10 elections, one after another, 2 assembly elections, 2 general elections. He wouldn't be, even the local body elections, he never won a majority of seats to be concerned. So Mr. Edapadi is not the face of AIADMK for that matter is concerned, and even the BJP, which is having a coalition with AIADMK for now, is trying to bring down Mr. Edapadi, and that is the reason they have been doing all kind of the tricks which has been they are familiar with all kind of states one after another, and the same tricks they are trying to do with the Tamil Nadu along with the AIADMK, and Mr. Kovai Satyan should be much more careful to garner his AIADMK's position. He is thinking that the BJP is a coalition partner. No, the history doesn't tell that. BJP is always there to a new state to decimate the second
you're making a
opponent.
point which is to be discussed later. I think each one knows who's to be trusted, who's not to be trusted in politics. Let me come to the ideological exchange. Narayan Tirupati, the finance minister's comments saying that the DMK has quote-unquote a secessionist mindset, only intensifies an ideological exchange with the DMK, which could benefit the BJP in terms of its ideological identity, but in terms of electoral politics, it could only make the NDA weaker in the state, some would argue. How do you respond?
No, Viragam, we see, it is not that we are, fighting DMK just now, and we have been saying that DMK right from the early days, they are divisive, and particularly Mr. Stalin's government, this government has been always saying that they want, more of state rights. There's nothing wrong in having state rights, but they are claiming it falsely, they are claiming it unnecessarily. And they all know that the central government has given more than what the UPA government has given. We have in fact tripled our, we have given 4 times. we have done for the infrastructure, and that is the reason Tamil Nadu, the Chief Minister is thumping his chest that this industrial growth is there, and that is because of the central government. So they should understand that India created states for administrative purposes, not like what they say the states created India. It is not United States of India. It is India that created states for its administrative purposes, and it will create more of its own. We have to understand this. This is a very small thing which these people don't know, and always they say that the states have created the India, and they call it as union. So many things. We saw even Arun Nehru was quoting like that. No, it is not so. So this is India, and where all coast,
Right.
the ports are there, the infrastructure will happen. India will support, the union government will support. It's very simple.
All right, you're
Madam,
making that point. Let me put a point across to Vasudha and ask her, since she covers the BJP very closely, there's only that much, Vasudha, that Narayan Tirupati can say on record. But is there a sense of concern in the BJP that the NDA, in a sense, is withering away in Tamil Nadu with TTV, Dinakaran's exit, etc.? There's trouble in the Ramdas family, in the PMK, which is another key constituents of the NDA. Is there a sense that in a state which has traditionally believed in arithmetic or voted on the basis of arithmetic, for instance, the DMK has a rainbow coalition, is there a worry in the BJP about the direction the NDA is taking in Tamil Nadu?
Well, Veera, my conversations with Delhi leaders of the BJP, and I'm sure Mr. Tirupati will also agree with me, most of them feel that the DMK is not as strong a challenger as the party would want people to believe in. They also think that Vijay is a strong, strong candidate who needs to be taken note of. Yes, of course, they want the NDA to expand. They want all sorts of cushioning that is possible for them. And they also are aware of the fact that in 2024 elections, there were many constituencies where the BJP performed better than even the DMK. And that is something that they are cognizant of. Kovai Satyan.
Yeah, please.
It's very simple, Vasudha. As far as DMK is concerned, the federalism, the state rights, language, this all comes in the flavor of separatism for their own vote bank politics and benefits, which helps them to cover their incompetence of the leader as well as the governance. See, 18 years they were sharing power with the center. They had cabinet birds. Till that 18 years, they would only address them as central government. The moment they don't share power, where they don't see money, they can't swindle, they can't play the role of a corrupt politician, they will address it as a union government.
Harish Mohammed Ibrahim, respond to what Kovai Satyan is saying. This is all just a smokescreen. Divert attention.
There are two lies. There are two lies, one by the BJP spokesperson and another by the ADMK
This is just to hide their incompetence, nothing else.
ADMK spokesperson have said that it is a corruption. And the only leader, Madam Jayalalitha, is the only one, the sitting chief minister who has gone to the jail in Tamil Nadu history. And number two, Mr. Tirupati sir, with due respect to him, he has spoken another lie, stating that the central government is giving all kind of funds. No, even with the 13th Finance Commission and the 15th Finance Commission, there the tax devolution has been dropped by 1.6%. And what kind of lie is that coming on a national television and saying that central government has released all the funds? No, even the PM Shri funds, 2,152 crores is still pending. And even the NDRF funds have been thousands of crores has been pending. And the GST tax devolution, Tamil Nadu gets out of 1 rupee which has been paid only 26 paise, where the Bihar gets 2.2 rupees. And even the Uttar Pradesh gets almost 2.69 rupees. So what kind of morality they have, the BJP and the ADMK, to come inside and speak with all kind of lies? This is totally rubbish.
First of all, you were talking about NDRF funds. See, NDRF funds is meant for the emergency needs. And absolutely, there is no ceiling on it, and I think he is wrong. My friend has to study what is actually NDRF. Let me finish. That has been done very clearly. And as far as the funds, what he had called about PMC, your party, your government has said that they have accepted, they will accept this But after that, they looked back. That is very wrong. And as far as the funds concerned about the devolution funds, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman in the parliament very clearly stated that whatever funds due to Tamil Nadu has been given. And as far as finance commission is concerned, absolutely the government has got to do nothing with it. We all know that. So you people
Veera
always
Vigneshwaran,
want to
you will give you the last word. The
blame the
DMK,
government. It's wrong.
BJP, AIDMK have been facing
Again
off
another lie
with
by the
each other.
BJP spokesperson.
What's the
With
last
due
word?
respect,
Where do you
Narayanan
stand
sir.
in all of this?
You mean on me,
Go ahead, Veera Vigneshwaran.
sir? BJP speak about separatism. Please note my word. From
What is this?
1990 Bhagalpur riots to 2013 Musafir riots, the BJP grow only by rioting. So the BJP leaders speak about separatism, divisive is a meaningless. Same thing. Second thing is
Who was ruling in
DMK.
Bhagalpur that time? Who was there in rule? Who was there in rule? Tell me.
No, no,
Who was ruling that
Sir,
time?
let him
Tell me.
finish,
I
sir.
was focused
Narayanan sir,
more
let
on
him
Tamil
finish.
Nadu. We can keep this
He's
conversation
spilling the
very
beans.
focused.
Without knowing, don't come to the debate. Who was ruling that time? Who was ruling that time? You know who was ruling
Narayanan
in
sir,
Bhagalpur that time?
truth hurts.
What is
BJP
this?
grew its alliance, grew its...
All right, we'll leave this
Who was there in
conversation
Jammu
here.
Nagar? Who was
Obviously,
there
there
in
will be
Jammu
focus, Vasudha. The political temperature is rising in Tamil Nadu. Each one has their point of view. We'll have to wait and see how the local arithmetic and local issues play out in the run-up to 2026 Tamil Nadu, Vasudha. And that will be our focus from now on.
That's right, Veera. And every time there's a discussion, Bihar always makes an entry. So clearly, for some time now, Bihar, because the TVK spokesperson also spoke about Bhagalpur riots. So clearly, Bihar seems to be the flavor of the season. But that said, we will be tracking Tamil Nadu 2026 polls very closely. But now it's time for a short break. We'll be back in just a bit.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's up there.
गोल्ड प्लस क्लियर ग्लास कार हो या नियर सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशित आई ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Fenesta Windows. Beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Fenesta नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Fenesta.
Welcome to my unit. So I'll just brief you through the mechanized platform of the Indian Army that we have here.
Sure.
So in mechanized, basically we have armored, mechanized infantry, these two things. So I'll just take you around the equipment also, and I'll tell you what is the difference between both also.
Okay.
So
what is the difference between the tank? What is one is the tank and one is a
BMP.
What is the full form?
It's Boye Machino Picote. It's a Russian term.
Acha, Russian term. Acha.
Yeah. So infantry it's an infantry combat vehicle.
Okay. Similar to tank.
It's similar to tank. The main difference in this is in tank we have a crew of 3.
Okay.
But in this we also have the stick also. Stick are people, infantry people who can get down, dismount and fight.
Acha.
So that capability also we have in a BMP.
Okay.
So basically here now, this is our training area.
Okay.
In which we'll be showing you how a new driver is being trained. We'll show you the obstacle courses that we have, and we'll show you completely the way it's happening. So first we just, from here you can see we have the number plates over there, 1, 2.
Right.
These are various obstacles.
Okay.
Which the BMP and the tank will also be negotiating.
Okay.
So we have the tank head which will be leading.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 BMPs.
Okay. So does the tank have a steering wheel or levers, or how does it work?
For a tank, it's basically 2 levers we have.
2 levers.
And whereas when it comes to BMP, it is like a steering wheel, but cut steering wheel, like a sports car steering wheel.
Achha.
It's that kind of a steering wheel. It's amphibious. So we'll be showing you that.
Oh, I see.
तो ये अभी हम यहाँ
देखेंगे.
अच्छा. Oh, wow. क्या बात है.
From here now, would you like to go on a ride?
Oh, I'd love that. Come.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Welcome back. The stage is all set for vice presidential election in India, with both the NDA and opposition parties organizing meetings and even mock drills, Veera, today to prepare their MPs for the voting process that will be held tomorrow. Now, this rehearsal aimed to ensure clarity and coordination amongst members of both the India bloc and NDA, especially as tensions rise over procedural concerns and political messaging, because here the numbers matter, but also the margin of victory matters, or margin of loss. Meanwhile, regional parties like BJD and BRS have also chosen to abstain, citing unresolved issues such as fertilizer shortages and farmer distress, adding another layer of complexity to this electoral landscape. Veera, before I bring in my guest, let me ask you, NDA CP Radhakrishnan, a seasoned BJP leader and also the governor of Maharashtra, against retired Supreme Court Judge P. Sudarshan Reddy, two South Indians. Why is this contest important, and what do the NDA and what is the opposition alliance, what do they want to do, what do they want to project out of this contest?
It's all about the optics of numbers, Vasudha. As you rightly pointed out, victory seems to be a foregone conclusion, but it's the question of numbers. How big a victory? I think from the NDA's point of view, it's a categorical assertion. Remember, after the 2024 elections and falling short of a majority, from the BJP and the NDA's point of view, it's to categorically turn around and say that, look, we've got a stronghold in terms of numbers in Parliament. And as you said, abstentions, not that it matters much, but the fact that put a judge from Hyderabad, a retired Supreme Court judge from Hyderabad on the contest was twofold for the opposition, Vasudha. One is to send out a message of their adherence to Constitution, a Sangh versus Samvidhan kind of debate, and the other was to try and, let's say, test the TDP, the YSRCP and the BRS. Unfortunately, even the BRS has chosen to abstain, as you just point out. So it'll be interesting to watch out. Final numbers will decide the optics of this battle eventually, though the victory is a foregone conclusion.
Yes, 422 is what the NDA has. They need about 394, so it looks like an easy contest. But Veera, let me also ask you this with a Jagdeep Dhankar question. Do you also feel that the NDA wants to ensure that everything goes right? Especially because this is an important post. The Vice President is also the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha.
C.P. Radhakrishnan ticks multiple boxes for the NDA. For Tamil Nadu, of course, he from the OBC caste, which is strong in the Western Belt. He's a face from the Coimbatore, which is where the BJP had tried. It's the same OBC caste that Annamalai, the former president of the BJP, was from. It's the caste that Edapadi Palanichami represents. So that's the electoral, perhaps, tick box as far as Tamil Nadu concerned. But he's someone who is known to be non-conventional, has friends across. He even met MK Stalin earlier when Stalin was in hospital. So many ticks there in favor of C.P. Radhakrishnan. Not someone who's been confrontational, a stern loyalist of the organization and the party.
And also tell us a little bit about Sudarshan Reddy, because he also seems to be somebody who has had an accomplished career when it comes to his judgments, and the opposition seems completely united in his nomination.
That's right. Justice Reddy, of course, as you would know, gave the Mark Salva Judam judgment. Lokayukta in Goa. He's had confrontations with the Congress when he was Lokayukta in Goa. Questions raised, and I think the message sent out by the Congress categorically is, again, as far as Justice Reddy is concerned, ticks several of the boxes. A non-political candidate against an ideological candidate fielded by the BJP. Two is also the emphasis on the Constitution. Fielding a retired Supreme Court judge with an impeccable record is seen as an endorsement of the campaign to say that the Constitution is under threat. That ticks the political box. And of course, fielding a Telugu candidate was perhaps a teaser to the YSRCP, just as fielding a Tamil candidate was a teaser to the DMK, which is a crucial ally.
That's right. So Sangh versus Samvidhan to play out tomorrow. Thank you, Veera, for joining us. Also stay with us. We also have other guests, Professor Sandeep Shastri joining us now, political analyst, and Uma Sudhir of the NDTV. But before, let's take a look at some reactions.
Why BRS has decided not to take part in the vice presidential elections?
Well, BRS party, the leadership, for the last 1 month, we've been highlighting the issue of farmers. And our leader has repeatedly said that there is a severe farmers' fertilizer crisis in Telangana, and we are in the midst of a campaign, an important election like the vice president, and there the farmers are facing these hardships. Please rescue. We made representations, we spoke in Parliament, we spoke in the Assembly, we tried to sensitize both the governments, Delhi and Hyderabad. Nothing worked. So we were left with no other option but to, abstain. Abstaining probably may not matter much in terms of number. But the question is, we abstaining for this specific reason, we are confident could probably bring in some relief to the farmers.
Discussions by our Honorable Party President Shri Naveen Patnaik ji with the party's senior leaders, Political Affairs Committee and MPs, the Biju Janata Dal has decided to abstain from the vice presidential elections tomorrow. The BJD remains equidistant from both NDA and India alliances. We are focused on the development and welfare of Odisha and 4.5 crore people of Odisha.
How important is this vice presidential election for the DMK, particularly when NDA has its numbers?
No, it is very important to have this election because this is a part of the democratic process, and it doesn't mean that we have to let it go unchallenged, whoever the candidate from NDA is. Let us wait for the votes to be counted. We cannot do SIR in this, no? So obviously, let's wait for the votes to be counted.
Is it a delicate situation for the DMK that you are forced to oppose a candidate from Tamil Nadu, in this case, Mr. Radhakrishnan?
No, it is not a delicate situation at all because the Chief Minister has been very clear that this is an ideological fight. It is not about any individual. It is an ideological fight, and it's a fight for democracy. So we are not confused, or we have no regrets about fielding a candidate from the opposition.
Uma Sudhir joins us now. Uma Sudhir, help us understand the reason behind BRS deciding to abstain from this election.
The South versus South dynamic, of course, playing out, and if the BJP thought they're putting the DMK in a quandary by bringing in Tamil pride and a son of the soil from Tamil Nadu angle, of course, the India bloc brought in the Telugu Bidda and someone from Telangana itself, and therefore BRS, which was formed as Telangana Rashtra Samiti and a party which is supposed to articulate the Telangana's own wishes, they were put in a quandary for sure, but it was really a Hobson's choice for the BRS because they cannot vote along with the India bloc, the Congress, which is their main political enemy in Telangana. And the second part of it is that the BJP, in a sense, made them feel quite small, I should say, by saying that we don't really need your votes. Nobody wooed the BRS to say, please come and vote for us. And therefore, they have put across, one, the issue of, the urea or the, cause of farmers, so to speak. And they're also talking about, second, that the BJP didn't ask us and that the Congress has been going after us and targeting our leaders, and therefore we do not want to go with either party. What this really shows is that all these parties, whether they matter or not, no one is in any doubt about who's going to emerge the winner. The only thing here is that all these political parties, whether it's a YSRCP in Andhra Pradesh or a BRS in Telangana, their political stance, their future political strategies or their space that they occupy is becoming clear, because Andhra Pradesh is going to be one of those unique states where you have, of course, the NDA partners, both the Telugu Desam and Janasena, voting for CP Radhakrishnan. And yes, the YSRCP also with its 11 MPs is going to be voting for the NDA candidate, showing very clearly that it's not regional sentiment that's determining this. In the case of YSRCP, it is a friendship with the center or having to keep that kind of an equation with the center. Just like even in Tamil Nadu, we are saying it's not regional sentiment that is stopping it, but it is the alliance kind of a stand and the ideological kind of a position of the DMK that's determining that they are going with Justice Reddy.
So interesting point. Professor Shastri, do you think the opposition has been able to achieve the objective with which it really fielded somebody like Sudarshan Reddy?
Vasudha, as we have been debating, it's, I think, multiple symbolisms that you see in this vice presidential election, because the result in important ways is a foregone conclusion. Symbolism number one, as you have been stressing, the ideological fight. They say it's a fight between two different narratives. That point has been made for quite some time now. Secondly, the abstentions also represent an element of symbolism, where parties prefer not to be seen as part of the ruling coalition or the opposition coalition. They want to ensure that they have an opportunity to take a stand on issues in the days ahead. Thirdly, I think what we will all be looking for is what are the actual numbers, the symbolism that is associated with the image of the two alliances. That also will be at play tomorrow. And finally, of course, the symbolism associated with the choice of the candidates by the two alliances, both hailing from the southern part of India, both of them representing very different perspectives. The NDA candidate being somebody part of politics, being a governor, occupied important positions, whereas the opposition candidate being a judge, not former judge, not being associated with any political party. So I think all these symbolisms are intermeshed in tomorrow's vice presidential election. And in that sense, it is a symbolic fight from the part of the opposition. The ruling alliance would like to demonstrate their numbers. And I think at the end of the day, it is these four symbolisms which will play out in the election.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Shastri. The numbers will play out tomorrow. Veera, you wanted to come in. Okay. So there's some breaking news
Vasudha,
now.
of course, that presidential elections... Go ahead, Vasudha, go ahead. There's some breaking news that's coming in at the moment.
There's some breaking news that's coming in. We have the first statement from Nepal government now. Nepal's health ministry says 19 dead and 347 people injured in its first official statement casualties list. And this is after deadly protests and clashes took place in Kathmandu today. Sources have also told NDTV that Nepal cabinet meeting is currently underway. That's what we understand. Remember, huge protests started in Nepal, in Kathmandu today. This is after a social media ban that was put in place by the Nepal government. What we understand is that the first statement has come out from Nepal government's health ministry saying that 19 people are dead in this protest and 347 people have been injured. And this is the first official statement of casualties that's coming out from the Nepal government today. This is after clashes and protests that took place in Kathmandu. What we also understand is that Nepal cabinet meeting is currently underway. Nepal Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak is likely to resign to calm the tempers down, and these clashes are taking place because of a social media ban that was put in place. Protesters have also alleged large-scale corruption, and now protesters are also demanding Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to resign from his post. 19 people are dead and 347 people are injured. Nepal Home Minister is likely to resign after this protest. My colleague Aditya Rajkal joins us on the phone line. Aditya, what is the latest update that we have from Nepal?
Well, yes, there's an official confirmation from Nepal's health ministry. This is the first bulletin that's been released. Unfortunately, 19 people have lost their lives and 347 others are injured in the deadly clashes that began early morning today. Massive protests across Kathmandu and many other cities across Nepal, including Pokhara, where demands of KP Sharma Oli, the Prime Minister, to resign over the social media ban and also over corruption. Thousands of people took to the streets. They stormed inside the parliament, and now confirmation from the Nepalese government that 19 people have died and 347 others are injured. We also have top sources in the government telling us that to calm the tempers, it's likely that Ramesh Lekhak, who is the Home Minister of Nepal, could resign. There's a cabinet meeting that is just about to begin. The top leaders and top ministers of the Nepal government are reaching KP Sharma Oli's office right now, where the meeting will take place. And after the critical cabinet meeting, some decisions will be taken. And one of them could be that the Home Minister could resign. There's no final, statement that's been released yet. But we are waiting. Some statement will be released after the cabinet meeting begins. But even right now, I'm being told that massive protests are continuing across Kathmandu and different areas, and including the paramilitary forces and the police have been deployed in different areas across Nepal, and the death toll, unfortunately, is likely to increase.
Right, Aditya, also help us understand the context to these protests, because it seems like the government blocked 26 unregistered social media platforms. It includes YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the youngsters who are protesting today in Nepal feel that this is a direct assault on freedom of speech. Is that the actual reason? What is it exactly that the protesters are demanding?
Well, that's right, Vasudha. Social media platforms, almost 26 of them were given at least a week by the Nepalese government to register with the government, but there were not a single social media platform registered with the government. And as a result, the Nepal government decided to block and ban all of them. Now, this protest is being dubbed as a Gen Z protest all across Nepal because it was not political parties, it was not even NGOs, but it was a sporadic anger by the youth of Nepal against the Nepal government that why these social media sites and apps are being banned when they are a critical part of daily life for youth, not just in Nepal, but all across the globe. So that led to massive protest. That was a massive trigger. But otherwise, there is already an ongoing campaign against corruption that's been underway in Nepal. There have been protests that have been witnessed for last several months against Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. But the final nail in the coffin was the social media ban that angered and upset a large chunk of the youth across Nepal. So we see protests not just in Kathmandu, but violent and deadly protests all across, Pokhara and several other cities in Nepal where several casualties are being reported right now. Officially, the word is that 19 people have died and 347 are injured. But unofficially, I'm being told by local journalists and many who are covering it closely that the death toll could mount higher. But the final word would be out once the cabinet meeting is over.
Right. Thank you, Aditya Raj Kaul, for reporting those very important details. A cabinet meeting is underway in Nepal that's witnessing deadly protests. 19 people have died, and this is a Gen Z protest with most young professionals, protesters demanding a return of a revoking of the social ban that was put in place by the government last week. But of course, we're tracking that story very closely for you. We'll keep going back to our reporters there. But moving on to other stories, last week NDTV hosted the Bhopal chapter of its regional event, the Emerging Business Conclave, with Chief Minister Dr. Mohan Yadav as the chief guest. Now, this event focused on how entrepreneurship, education, skill and vocation are making Madhya Pradesh a developed and inclusive state. Also speaking at this event was Bhuvan Ribu, the founder of Just Rights for Children.
Emerging Business Conclave में आप सभी का स्वागत है.
देश के दिल मध्य प्रदेश की
The NDTV Emerging Business Conclave Bhopal chapter was a confluence of the state's topmost policymakers, Chief Minister Dr. Mohan Yadav, ministers, business and thought leaders, academicians, artists and entrepreneurs. One of the most powerful conversations at the conclave reminded us that while education lays the path to a future-ready workforce and can transform the nation's economy, child marriage steals that promise. Cutting short dreams, silencing potential and closing the doors to a life of opportunity.
बाल विवाह को खत्म कर दें.
The conversation was with eminent child rights activist and founder of Just Rights for Children, Bhuvan Ribu, who talked about how early protection and proper social reforms contribute to long-term economic development and sustainable business ecosystems. This discussion emphasized that safeguarding children's rights and ensuring their education isn't just a social responsibility, it's the bedrock of a thriving, inclusive economy.
अब भारत में आज मात्र 19,000 करोड़ रुपए की जरूरत है देश की हर बच्ची को 18 वर्ष तक शिक्षा दिलाने के लिए. तो कोई कारण नहीं है कि अगर सारा भारत इसको कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थोपी हुई के बजाय कॉर्पोरेट सोशल अकाउंटेबिलिटी की तरह देखे कि ये हमारी अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी है, ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी के साथ साथ हमारी अपनी सोच भी है. तो वी मस्ट इन्वेस्ट इन एजुकेशन ऑन वन साइड एंड ऑन द अदर वी मस्ट इन्वेस्ट इन सेफ्टी, इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी. अगर हमारी बच्चियां, अगर हमारी बहनें सुरक्षित महसूस नहीं करती, अगर जस्टिस डिलीवरी पॉसिबल नहीं है, तो ये फिर बिजनेस फ्लरिश नहीं कर सकते.
And why is this an important point to make? The World Bank estimates that integrating 50% of women into the workforce could boost India's GDP by 1.5%. Ending child marriage is not just a moral obligation, it's an economic necessity. The conclave provided a platform to investors and entrepreneurs who are holistically shaping the development story of Madhya Pradesh. The discussion highlighted the seminal role that business persons have in ensuring social justice through the impact and control they wield.
Be just. Be just. मैं आपके अंदर जो ये सही और गलत की सोच है, अगर ये बच्चा मेरा होता तो मैं क्या करता, अगर इस इलाके में मेरे बच्चे रह रहे होते तो मैं क्या करता, मेरी फैक्ट्री के बाहर अगर मेरी बेटी घूम रही होती पैदल तो मैं क्या करता, जो मैं तब करता उसी की जिम्मेदारी लेने के लिए मैं आपसे अनुरोध करूंगा। भारत पॉसिबिलिटीज़ की जगह है और आज हम ऐसे मुकाम पर पहुंचे हैं जहां सारी दुनिया में कम से कम बच्चों की सुरक्षा का तो लीडर हम ही हैं। तो अगर हम भारत में बाल विवाह या ट्रैफिकिंग या इस तरह की बुराइयों को ख़त्म कर देंगे तो दुनिया की 1/3 बुराइयां खत्म हो जाएंगी।
Ultimately, protecting our children from these crimes is a collective responsibility that requires more than just money. It demands our time, conscience, and unwavering commitment to justice.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में। फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है। बुलाओ।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
We see the problems, but you as a social entrepreneur see the solutions. You are not just creating solution, you are creating a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you. Green Talk Social Impact Awards 2025, coming soon.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation से maintenance की lifelong customer service. आपके घर में Fenesta नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Fenesta.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm the medical officer of this unit, sir.
Good afternoon. So nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir. Same this side, sir.
So this is the firing range.
Yes, sir. This is our firing range, sir.
You handle weapons, right? I've handled weapons. क्या हम लोग एक तो shooting में we get to handle weapons.
Yes.
They are not real guns, but they are very similar. So the functioning of it is very similar.
आपने ट्रेनिंग वगैरह?
मैंने ट्रेनिंग भी ली है और I own a weapon also, licensed weapon. So I've shot in firing ranges in Mumbai and all. I'm a member also there. Wow. मैम हम ये क्या गन देख रहे हैं?
ये इंसास राइफल है, sir.
So this is Indian made?
Yes.
Wow.
And we'll be firing from sir AK-203.
Okay.
That is Indian made.
That
sir.
is also Indian.
Yes, sir.
Can I look at the bullets?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. This is the bullet of Insas, sir. The bullet will be different for the AK-203, sir.
So I can fire this?
Yes, sir.
But somebody needs to guide me.
जो लिम्बर आपके आदेश पर आप लाइन पोजीशन लेंगे।
अच्छा।
और इसके बाद इसको यहाँ पर आप
सपोर्ट लेंगे। करेक्ट।
लिम्बर में आप लाइन पोजीशन और बाट और खांडे का मिलाप रखते हुए और आप फोरहैंड ग्रिप पर पकड़ते हुए सीज का अलाइनमेंट करें। बर की आदेश पर आप मैगजीन वेट की अंदर पर घुसाना है।
ओके सर। हाँ चलिए।
फायर लाइन ऑफ। हाँ लिम्बर ऑफ। फायर भर। चलो सामने टारगेट। अपना टाइम पर 5 राउंड फायर।
हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन GST रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर
I think it will have a very positive impact on the GDP.
A landmark reform, a new economic chapter, a nation rising together. NDTV Profit presents the GST Conclave with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, policymakers and industry leaders reflecting on GST 2.0 and charting the road ahead. NDTV Profit GST Conclave Reforms for a Resurgent India. 9 September, 3 p.m. onwards on NDTV 24/7.
हेलो बोलिए मैडम, डब्बा टेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा.
We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies.
ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है.
मैडम एक बार को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
After our report, we also saw NSE came out with a cautionary circular to the investors. Market Regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India has also come out with a release talking about the actions that it has taken. Cyber complaint has also been filed against the entities involved in this entire Dabba trading scam.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to India Matters on Monday night. I'm Shiv Arur. It is election season. This is a country which is constantly in election mode. Either we are in an election, or we're right before an election, or we're right between big elections. Right now, the Bihar election is only a few weeks away. And after what has been a very, very high engagement crusade and campaign on the streets of Bihar, Rahul Gandhi has shocked many, or maybe not shocked so many, by going off on his latest foreign vacation. But tonight I'm asking, is it really so abnormal anymore for persons to take downtime? The big political fight over Rahul Gandhi's latest foreign vacation is my lead story. But also what's happening in Nepal is something I'm going to be touching upon in a big way, because 19 students are dead in what is one of the biggest youth uprisings of Nepal. A social media ban and rampant corruption in the old in Kathmandu has led to incredible heart-stopping scenes in the streets of Kathmandu. That story. And finally, Trump's attack dog Peter Navarro has escalated once again, even as President Trump and Prime Minister Modi have tried to cool temperatures just a little bit. Peter Navarro is busy embarrassing himself on social media. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect next. But to start, we've got some breaking news. "19 students and protesters are dead. 347 people are shockingly injured in the protests that have swept large parts of Nepal today. Of a youth uprising against the ban of social media apps like YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram and X. The Nepal government has issued its first official statement after a day of agitation and violence on the streets of Kathmandu and other major cities in Nepal. Nepal's Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak is likely to resign. He has offered to resign already. Very, very dramatic scenes in different parts of Kathmandu today. Lots of destruction and at least 19 people dead. Protesters and the opposition are demanding Nepal Prime Minister's resignation. The opposition is also calling for early elections. The party has condemned the brutal crackdown on protesters, largely comprised of youngsters from Gen Z. Sources say that will be meeting. Already currently meeting. That meeting is underway. The India-Nepal border has been put on high alert. The Nepal army has been deployed and curfew has been imposed in different parts of Nepal. Remember, a large Indian population lives and works in Nepal as well. So India is monitoring the situation extremely closely. The Nepal government has banned 26 social media platforms, including all of the big ones, leading to a huge clampdown on freedom of speech, leading to these disturbing scenes with 19 dead and over 340 people critically injured in this protest. We have a full report coming up in just a short while from now. But our lead story tonight is it's that time of year and Rahul Gandhi is once again away from the country. This time reportedly in Langkawi, an idyllic island off the Malaysian coast. And the familiar political storm has begun even as Rahul Gandhi chills abroad. The BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress Party's principal rivals, have pounced, accusing Rahul Gandhi of being an absentee politician who disappears when the Punjab floods are at their peak, an entitled dynast who needs luxury downtime after a few days of hard politics on the streets of Bihar, and an unserious leader of the opposition who seems to validate every charge that he's not built for the grind of public life. Now, the optics are hard to ignore after a high-energy event like the Vote Adhikar campaign in Bihar and the devastation of floods in Punjab, a state the Congress ruled handsomely, remember, for decades. Rahul Gandhi's sudden scooter rides along the Malaysian coast are an easy contrast for his rivals to weaponize. Rahul Gandhi's defenders push back, as they always have, arguing that Rahul refuses to subscribe to Narendra Modi's relentless 24/7 routine, that he represents a new political culture where leaders can take time off, live balanced lives, and show that politics doesn't have to be all-consuming. They argue that this is modern, even aspirational, and will appeal to a young electorate that doesn't want its leaders to burn out on the job. I personally find myself conflicted on this tonight. In principle, everyone, politicians included, or maybe politicians especially, deserve downtime. Indian politics could use a little humanity and maybe a slower clock. But Rahul Gandhi's own track record makes this just a little tricky. With 2 decades of being mocked as a reluctant politician, flexing the freedom to vacation abroad every time the heat builds up is a risky message to send out, especially in election season. Forget voters. What about the Congress rank and file? After pouring their energy into a campaign, what do they make of their generals slipping away to a resort island instead of leading the next charge? Rahul's inner circle likely believes these trips are a signal of defiance, a way to say he won't bend to the expectations set by a workaholic Prime Minister who, by the way, heads to flood-hit Punjab tomorrow. But in the process, he keeps supplying oxygen to the perception that he's not fully in the fight. If politics is about narrative, Rahul Gandhi remains the single biggest contributor to the narrative that has haunted him now doggedly for 20 years. That he is here on his own terms occasionally and between flights. And remember, this isn't the first time, and that's the reason why it has become a kind of political fixture in our annual calendar. Rahul's me time amidst a crisis have been happening for years together now, and they always make headlines. It's always predictable. In 2019, Rahul Gandhi took off to London. This was a trip amidst the 2019 general election. In October 2019, Rahul Gandhi was in Bangkok. This was a trip 15 days before the Haryana and Maharashtra elections. In 2020, the 136th foundation day of the Congress Party, Rahul Gandhi was on a trip to Italy. In September 2021, senior Congress leader Captain Amarinder Singh had resigned. The Gandhi family was holidaying in Shimla. In December 2021, the Congress lost assembly polls in 5 states. Rahul Gandhi was on a personal visit to Italy. This was a setback to the Punjab polls, rallies, postponed till Rahul Gandhi actually returned to the country. In April 2022, the Congress Party leadership was in absolute crisis. Remember that time? Rahul Gandhi once again was abroad. The party says it was on work, but we don't know. 2023, Rahul Gandhi's US visit, Rahul met co-founder Sunita Vishwanath, Islamist advocacy group. In 2025, the Punjab floods crisis, Prime Minister to visit Punjab. Rahul Gandhi is in Malaysia just a few days after what has been, and I will say this completely with total clarity, that the Vote Adhikar campaign was a high engagement, high visibility campaign where the momentum should have been kept up, but then Rahul Gandhi chose to interrupt it reportedly with this trip to Langkawi. So what goes on in Rahul Gandhi's mind that he feels the need for this kind of downtime? And it's always something that makes its way into the headlines, offering fuel to those who say, we told you he's an unserious politician. We told you he doesn't have it in him to remain committed to public life. We told you he cannot sacrifice, a few holidays for a few years in order to get his armies really moving and actually win an election. But like I said, this is a debate with two sides to it. On the one side, there is an entire army that says, well, this is the new world. This is how politicians in the rest of the world live. Everyone has downtime. Everyone has a private life, and they are not judged on that basis. They are only judged by their work. But the others will say, well, look at Rahul Gandhi's work. He has led the Congress to its most abysmal low in history. He has lost tens of elections over the decades. He has led the Congress to a historic situation where it is simply unable to fight for itself, and it remains a party that is in tatters at this point of time, some would say. So how can the two actually be reconciled? Let's go across now to talk about this for a second, because Rahul Gandhi isn't just a leader of the Congress, isn't just a member of parliament. He's also leader of the opposition and therefore represents a larger front against the government at a time when questions should undoubtedly be asked. Anand Ranganathan, scientist and author and commentator. Sanjay Jha, political analyst and lapsed congressman. Priyanka Kakkar is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, both the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party separately have been taking pot shots at Rahul Gandhi over this particular vacation. Anand, you've heard my opening words. What would you say about this latest trip by Rahul Gandhi? It comes after, what was a high-octane, motorcycle campaign across Bihar. Like it or not like it, the fact is people were talking about it. It did have some resonance. And then off Rahul goes to Langkawi.
Good evening, Shiv, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Perhaps if I can begin by slightly correcting you, I don't think Sanjay is a lapsed congressman. I think he's a suspended congressman. He still believes that he is a congressman, even though the Congress party, I hope, resurrects Sanjay because he's an asset to them. Couple of points out here. Number one, I don't think Rahul Gandhi's body needs rest. It is the brain. What do I mean by that? I have absolutely no opposition to any politician taking as many vacations as he or she wants, because I firmly believe that the purpose of a politician is to gauge what the public wants and then to formulate a policy and implement that policy. What do I mean by that? For example, you can have a politician drive a tractor or plow a field as much as he or she wants, and then the optics would be fantastic. Look, he's working hard, he's not vacationing. But the fact of the matter is, our policies, agricultural policies, are so against this sector and farmers. No matter how many tractors you drive, the farmers are still going to remain poor because the farm laws have not been implemented. So the very people who promised those farm laws, Rahul Gandhi being one in the Congress 2019 election manifesto, to have do away with APMCs, to do away with to the Essential Commodities Act emergency provision, and to have contract farming, all three were promised by him. And it's irrelevant to me whether he was plowing fields or driving tractors. But the fact is, the moment they were implemented by Modi, he took a U-turn. So what matters is the policies you formulate. For example, out here now you can have an optics of a politician, as you had Mr. Shivraj Chauhan, touring the flood-affected areas. You have many politicians doing that. And Rahul Gandhi is getting brickbats because he's not doing it. For me, it's irrelevant because the floods have been caused by non-implementation of river linking, of not having proper dams. So the politicians are at fault not by not touring the areas or not spending time amongst people. The politicians are at fault, according to me, by having terrible policies or taking a U-turn on the policies that they promised for the people. And to give Rahul the benefit of the doubt, I think he's worked hard. I mean, in the Bharat Jodo Yatra and the Bihar Yatra, so he can tour as much as he wants. Unfortunately, his policies are so anti-people, anti-India that it doesn't matter. The optics will always be like that.
Sanjay, the optics are bad because there is nothing to support it. Anand argues that if the policies were strong, if the track record was strong, if there was consistency as far as political action was concerned, then he could have taken any vacation he wanted. But amidst a lack of that, these vacations are just, 100% ammunition to the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. And that's why they've been attacking him again. Sanjay.
Hi, good evening, Shiv, and to both the AAP representative and my friend Anand. Let me put all this speculation on my relationship with the Congress to rest by giving you a very forthright statement on where it is. Congress and I are married. We just live in 2 separate bedrooms, which I believe is even good for intimacy. So I think I would like to kind of scotch all rumors to the contrary right here. But in all seriousness, let's get down to your question. I think, Rahul's entire Vote Adhikar campaign, I believe, is a turning point in Indian politics. Ever since he did that press conference in Bengaluru, and he's done it with data, he's put out scientific facts, he's challenged the election commission, and I think that's caught the imagination of the people, not just in Bihar.
But then why give the BJP this full toss then, Sanjay? Why give the BJP this full toss?
Yeah, so let me answer you. You see, the Bharatiya Janata Party is a kind of a party. Listen, I've been in debates with them for years now. You don't have to give them a reason. If you don't give them a reason, they'll manufacture one. So I wouldn't waste my time worrying about what the BJP says. I'll pose it a little differently. I mean, I remember Mr. Modi as the Prime Minister of this country returned from, I think, Saudi Arabia after the horrific Pahalgam terror attack happened. And then he was campaigning in Bihar. To my mind, that is duplicitous. That is immoral. That is unethical for any politician. Forget, he's the Prime Minister of the country. Rahul is not duplicitous at all. And I think, as somebody who's been in both the corporate and the political side, I can tell you one thing, Shiv. Take it from me. Jack Ma and Narayan Murthy, with due respects to them, they have become the most popular memes of our time by talking about this whole burnout as the only way to succeed. Now, Narendra Modi, I don't know, people say he works 25 hours a day. Good luck to him. No problem. Each one of us is unique and, we all have our own way of functioning. I'll give you my own example. I mean, one of the reasons why I would never, no matter how, if I were to become X position in politics tomorrow, I will still find time to do the things that are important to me because they help me become better at my work. They help me become better at my work.
Obviously, what you're saying is very sensible, but what is also unique is a string of electoral defeats. It's a question of stopping and starting. It's a question of consistency. It's a question of momentum. If it was a string of victories behind him, sure, something like this could be justified because this is not just a matter of principle. It's also a matter of perception. It's also a matter of keeping the rank and file energized and keeping the momentum up. Priyanka, your party, the Aam Aadmi Party, some leaders... Yes, I'll come back to you, Sanjay. Some leaders have also attacked Rahul Gandhi and said, the Punjab floods are taking place. Rahul Gandhi is not here. He's vacationing abroad. Why did you say that? Why can't he get the time off?
Well, right now, Shiv, the entire North India is grappling with unprecedented floods, and he is the Neta Pratipaksh. He is the biggest face of Congress. He is ruling. They are the ruling government in Himachal. They are the opposition in Punjab, and yet he is missing. Same is the case with the Pradhan Mantri Modi. Although you mentioned that he is coming to Punjab tomorrow, that will perhaps again be an aerial view, like Shivraj Chauhan ji came. It was an aerial view. There was no support. They have time to send support to Afghanistan, but not to Punjab. And because Rahul Gandhi has no time for Punjab, I don't want to waste another breath on Rahul Gandhi on this show. I want to apprise your viewers what is happening currently in Punjab. 3 lakh 3 lakh acres of farmland, with the paddy fields are currently submerged in water. They were all ready for
but
harvest.
Priyanka, we are
This
talking
is the
about
kind of
Rahul Gandhi
devastation
today.
that
The
Punjab
debate is
and
about Rahul
Punjabis are
Gandhi.
facing.
The other details we already have covered on our channel.
I know, but I think I agree, Shiv. I will come to Rahul Gandhi. I am mentioning this because I want when Pradhan Mantri Modi comes tomorrow, he doesn't just come for optics and aerial view of the flood devastation. I want
we'll
him
be
to
asking
come
those
with the
questions.
60,000 crore
All
that
the
he
data
owes
that
to
you're
Punjab.
providing will be
because
asked.
currently, sure, I definitely, please ensure that you come back to me on what the Aam Aadmi Party government has done for Punjab without any assistance from the centre, and what is expected from the centre when they come tomorrow.
Does this have a, does this, I understand what you're saying. You are making a larger point, but my point is limited, and this is not a frivolous debate by any stretch. Let's be very clear. Rahul Gandhi is leader of the opposition. He is the leader. He is the de facto leader of the second largest party in the country. He is seen as the leader of the India bloc as well. Anand, this is not a joke. This is not a frivolous debate. The fact is, Rahul Gandhi being away radiates a message to the larger India bloc about whether he is really serious about leading the charge. Sure, we are far away from the next general election, but there are many important elections to lead into in 2026 as well.
Couple of things out here, Shiv. First of all, you know what Sanjay said about the Bihar campaign that was led by Rahul Gandhi. I agree. It was a tireless campaign, and good luck to Rahul. But the fact of the matter is that the entire campaign in Bihar was kick-started by his press conference in Bengaluru.
Yeah.
And the whole charge was against the Election Commission. Each one of those charges turned out to be wrong, lies, and frivolous. Each one of those. That's why I say, I don't mind Rahul vacationing. But the fact is, what is it that he's saying? If that is a pack of lies, it doesn't matter whether he stays for optics or goes to a vacation and the optics are bad. It doesn't matter to me. Likewise, I asked Priyanka ji. Now, you know, she is being sarcastic or taunting people who are doing aerial surveys. I agree with her. But then I ask her, yes, there is no point doing aerial surveys. There's no point doing surveys if you know the reality on the ground. And the reality on the ground is that, yes, of course, a large proportion of blame for the Punjab floods is, of course, caused by atypical monsoon and glacier melting. But the fact of the matter is there is acute mismanagement of reservoirs. There is acute mismanagement of dam closing and opening. So, Priyanka ji, the fact remains that, let me just finish. And, you know, please, I didn't interrupt you. The fact remains that politicians from AAP or some other party can go around, you know, knee deep in water, and that optics and that videos, clips would go viral. But the fact is they are to blame because they mismanaged it in the first place. I personally, left to me, I'd much rather they be vacationing and there are no floods in Punjab.
Priyanka, quick answer. I'll end with Anand then. Quick answer.
Yes. See, Anandji is able to name Aam Aadmi Party, but he is not able to name other politicians, and we know why. And he should, since he is very learned, you should ask him who manages the dams, and he should also see how much water was this time, coupled with heavy monsoons, of course, how much water was released from the dams and why did that happen? Maybe perhaps he should answer that too. Coming to Rahul Gandhi, I think he should now understand that, you know, there is a government, BJP is a government which is 24/7 about optics, about elections, about they have, we know that they have police under their control, they have ECI under their control, they have ED, CBI under their control. You're fighting such a machinery. You cannot be absent at such a important time when entire North India is grappling under such massive floods. And I would want you to please go back to Anand ji and ask him, वो दूसरी पार्टी का नाम लेने से इतना घबरा क्यों रहे हैं? Since he mentioned
Anand has no problem with that.
He should also mention the mismanagement of who manages the dams.
But Anand has no problem with that. Anand, do you have a problem with naming parties?
Who manages the dams, Anand ji, in this country?
Now, 1 second. Now, this is the problem, you know, victimhood. I did not blame any AAP. It was politicians across the board. In fact, I began with saying Priyanka ji is talking about aerial surveys and the Prime Minister doing it, and fair enough, she's right. I think there was some audio problem. She could not hear what I was saying, and hence her victimhood.
Sanjay, I'll end with you. I'm almost out of time. Sanjay, I'll end with you. But you know, this discussion has gone into what's going to happen during the aerial survey tomorrow. But it started with Rahul Gandhi. It's a big party. There is a big fight and a big season ahead. you've been someone who has talked tough to the leadership in the Congress party, and you actually kind of paid a price for that as well. I'm asking very candidly, do these breaks, do these, does this downtime, which I personally would like to see normalized just as you do, does it really enthuse the rank and file? Do they see it as an act of defiance, or does it, kill momentum and kind of kill morale?
Shiv, let me tell you, I think Rahul Gandhi is being very transparent, and that's the way to be. AAP's allegations are pathetic, puerile, pedestrian, and preposterous. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because at the end of the day, Shiv, it's not about the fact that whether you are there 24/7 or 23/7. It's about your intent. It's about your commitment. It's about your passion. It's not about some performative display of political commitment. It's about what you genuinely do. So I'll give you an example. I'd rather have a politician who takes a break, because work-life balance, by the way, in my opinion, applies more to politicians than the corporate world, because my experience of politics is they work 24/7 anyways. I mean, it's an abnormal life if you're not going to take a break to rejuvenate yourself. And I'd rather have a man who takes an occasional break but fights for the people of India, as opposed to somebody who may be a hate monger or, a corrupt man. And Aam Aadmi Party should recognize, don't be so individual centric. Run as a political party. There are faces in Punjab. There are people within the Congress who are not just Rahul Gandhi. There is a Mr. Kharge, etc. Respect them, for heaven's sake.
The only look, we always have these debates. We talk about perception, we talk about narrative. Ultimately, the barometer is going to be the Bihar election that comes up, the elections that come up. It's important to note that Rahul Gandhi has been questioning the very barometer itself through his Vote Adhikari campaign. But in the middle of that, he goes off on a vacation. What message does that send? I will still say, in principle, I completely support downtime. Time for yourself, optics, I stand with Anand on that view as well. It should happen. But when the house is burning, is it really a time to flex the freedom for a vacation? I wonder what the answer to that is. Thanks very much, Sanjay, Priyanka, and Anand, for being with me. We've got some breaking news coming in right now. Okay, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will be representing India at the BRICS Summit. This is India's message at the BRICS virtual summit that's just come out. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, on behalf of India, has called for resilient supply chains and United Nations reforms. India's message is that BRICS should work towards stabilizing the international economy, address the impact of ongoing conflicts on the global south, and proactively support reforming multilateralism. That's the big breaking story that we have right now on the BRICS Summit, being addressed virtually by Dr. S. Jaishankar. Listen in.
The world today also seeks an urgent resolution of ongoing conflicts. The global south has experienced a deterioration in its food, energy, and fertilizer security. Where shipping is targeted, not just trade, but livelihoods also suffer. A selective protection cannot be a global answer. An early end to the hostilities and undertaking diplomacy to ensure a durable solution is the obvious pathway before us. The working of international organizations in the last few years has witnessed major shortfalls in many areas. On key issues, we have unfortunately seen that gridlocks have undermined the search for common ground. These experiences have only made the case for reformed multilateralism generally, and that of the United Nations and its Security Council specifically, more urgent. The BRICS have taken a positive view of this need for reform, and we expect that it would collectively become a strong voice for much awaited change. Excellencies, even as the world grapples with policy changes, we must not lose sight of bigger concerns, especially climate change. Sadly, both climate action and climate justice are currently slipping in global priorities. We need new thinking and initiatives as well. I commend the International Solar Alliance, the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, and the Global Biofuels Alliance for your consideration.
And now I'm taking you across to Mandya, a city just south of Bengaluru in Karnataka, where proof has once again come before us of how easy it is in this country for communal violence to flare up. This was on the occasion of the Ganpati Visarjan yesterday, where violence broke out in the city of Mandya during the Visarjan. Prohibitory orders are currently in place in the city, disturbing scenes after stones were allegedly pelted at the Visarjan procession. The BJP is on the offensive. The BJP is the opposition party in Karnataka, remember, has called for a bandh in the city of Madur tomorrow. BJP says this is an anti-Hindu government that has emboldened communal miscreants to be able to throw stones at a Ganesh Visarjan procession. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah of the Congress party has defended and said action against all miscreants as per the law, and there is nothing communal as far as administrative action is concerned. The protesters and the police have been facing off, leading to prohibitory orders. The situation currently, thankfully, is under control, but the BJP says the state is under Mughal-like rule. These are images from Mandya that NDTV's Deepak Bopanna got us earlier today. Okay, let's go across to our guests on the big story from Mandya tonight, because even though it was a small, contained flare-up in communal tension following stone pelting, it has become a larger political story. Surabhi Hodigere of the BJP is with me. T.R. Prasad Gowda of the Congress in Karnataka is with me. Welcome to you both. Surabhi, the BJP has said this is an example of the Mughal-like state under Siddaramaiah in Karnataka. Why do you say so? Because we've been reporting on it from Mandya. This was an isolated case. The BJP says it is not isolated. Tell us why you think so.
Shiv, how can it be isolated if the same pattern that happened exactly last year across the state is happening again this year? In Nagamangala, we saw a flare-up that was immense, that we saw, factories being burned, retail outlets being burned. We saw people on the streets. And this is voices coming from the ground, women who are coming out and saying that we are scared to go to certain areas. We're afraid to for loud music to be playing in certain times. This is a pattern that we are seeing and unfortunately talking less about. How is this an isolated incident? And why would an isolated incident bring out the sort of people on the streets that we are seeing right on your screens today? By the way, we must we also register very strong, disapproval on the fact that the lathi charge is being held against the people who are protesting. What is this pattern that we are seeing? For Ganesh Visarjan, you want to put restrictions, you want timelines for it, but no, Ganesh Visarjan cannot happen peacefully. It can only happen with stone pelting with people coming from other districts. In all of this, how can something like this happen randomly, without any planning, without any state support? How can it possibly happen that way?
Okay.
Who are these people coming from different districts?
Mr. Gowda, the BJP says this is not
law so easily.
Mr. Gowda, the BJP says this is not random violence, this is not isolated, it's happening with state support, and that the Congress needs to answer for it because this is selective application of the law. Nothing has been done against these miscreants. What would you say to Surabhi of the BJP?
Mr. Shiv Arur, this last time also it has happened. This is also, see, this is the thing which is done by some miscreants over there, and I can say just to grab the attention, miscreants are all infiltrating by BJP itself. They wanted to grab the attention of the state and the country and showing that, it's happening like this. And definitely we are doing the investigation over all these miscreants, from where they have come. Of course, we are trying to maintain, maintain the communal harmony, everything. But the BJP, this is what has happened. It is at the instance of BJP only. BJP wanted to disturb the peace and communal harmony across the region, and they wanted to grab the attention, saying that
okay. Surabhi, the Congress says these are BJP miscreants. These are BJP miscreants, infiltrated and planted there in order to defame the Siddaramaiah government.
I mean, it's the argument in itself is ridiculous, sir. My apologies. Nobody in Karnataka will even believe that for 1 second, because it is your government just a few days ago that let go of 60 criminal cases, including the one against stone pelters in Chittapur. It is your government that has ensured that, people who were not given the right punishment with DJ early, KJ early case when your own MLA was trapped inside. It is your government that has called people who are terrorists as brothers. It is your government that has been soft on a particular community. Do not tell me that this is something that the BJP, what wild conspiracy theory is this? And the fact that this is happening again and again and again. In Nagamangala, when this incident happened, it was Dr. Parameshwar who came out and said, this is just a small, misunderstanding, small thing. Businesses was burned down. How can you say this? And today it's happening across Shimoga. It's happening in Shimoga. It's happening in Hubli, in Dharwad. To celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi, we have to be afraid. This is the law and order that you have brought through. This is the law and order that Karnataka government.
Mr. Gowda, the Home Minister of Karnataka has called it a small incident.
It is a BJP conspiracy. We don't need to cook up issues, sir. You are giving us issues on a platter every single day.
They wanted to take, Mr. Shiv, they wanted to take the political mileage. They know they can draw the attention of the people. They know they can draw the attention of state and the country by doing so, because they are known for it, to disturb the communal harmony. Then only we can try to build up a party in that region. That it has already is under the investigation, and it will come to know in a few days.
But sir, the incidents have happened repeatedly. That is also true, that this is not the first time something like this has happened. Is it so easy to stir up communal disharmony? The BJP says it is because of the appeasement policies of the Siddaramaiah government. That's the reason why miscreants are emboldened.
We are not appeasing anybody. For our government, everybody is equal. And we are working on the principle that nobody is big, nobody is small. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law, and whether he belongs to any community for that matter, we do not want anybody to put in the high level or in the low level also. And we have maintained the peace and the law and order, everything there. But whatever, I will stand by my my statement that this is the BJP, at the instance of BJP, these things are happening.
Surbi, last word, last rebut to you. Yeah.
I will send a defamation notice if somebody keeps saying that this is because of the BJP. I want to show you a picture from last year. This is Ganesha behind bars in a police van. This is the state that you're running. Shiv, my blood is boiling. I literally have tears in my eyes thinking that in my state, we cannot do Ganesh Chaturthi without being afraid of stone pelting. Go through Mandya, Mysore, go through all of these areas. Women are telling us that we are not feeling safe to practice our religion. And the Congress has the guts to say this is a BJP conspiracy. They have zero. They say everybody is equal. For them, it has always been everybody is equal, but some people are more equal than the others. If you have the guts, Mr. Gowda, sir, today, say this, that no, there will be no such stone pelting. Communities that are doing stone pelting will be punished. There should be no disturbance of religious activities. You will not say that. Instead, you will call certain communities your brothers and ensure that Hindus are put under the bus. Shiv, I'm angry today because why would people come out in hordes and hordes? Why would they come out, risk getting lathi charge? These people being lathi charged as not the stone pelters. And this is happening repeatedly. Nagamangala was on fire while celebrating a festival, and the Congress is shutting their eyes, shutting their ears, everything. They don't want to see the truth. This kind of demographic incidents that are happening in Karnataka, I am calling out to the national media and saying that this is becoming a scarier and scarier reality in the hinterlands of Karnataka every single day. This is a warning to the rest of the country.
NDTV's team is on the ground in Mandya. The prohibitory orders are in place. We don't think anything more will happen tonight because there is a huge amount of security right now. But Surabhi is right. There has been a lot of violence that has taken place and protests and clashes as well. We'll keep a very close watch on this. There is a Bandh call in Madur tomorrow. How is that going to go? NDTV will be on the ground tracking that. Surabhi and T.R. Prasad Gowda, thank you very much for being with me here on India Matters. And coming up next, The big global story from our neighbor in Nepal. 19 students have been killed in angry protests over the country's ban of social media apps, as well as alleged corruption of the ruling Oli government. Just picture that. A huge Yuva uprising in Nepal over YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and more being banned.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियाँ आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशित आई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में? चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Finesta windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation
Nepal's Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak has tendered his resignation during the huge violence and protests that have taken place in different parts of Nepal today, killing at least 19 students, and that death toll is likely to go up. The huge uprising by young protesters, mostly students and Gen Z students, against corruption in the government, as well as the huge ban on 26 social media apps, including WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X, has led to scenes like these across the streets of Nepal and outside the country's parliament as well. The Oli cabinet has decided to form a committee to investigate today's incident. 40 protesters have been arrested, more than 350 are injured, and 19 young student protesters have been killed in the violence that swept the capital of Nepal and all of its major cities. I want to go across now to Rajneesh Bhandari. He's a senior journalist in Nepal. Also joining me is Pushkar Bikram Shahi. He's a member of the National Students' Union, and he was in the protest today. Pushkar, I want to quickly come to you first. You have been in the protest today that we've seen, and pictures that have gone to different parts of the world. What are you, as a student, demanding from the government of Nepal? The Home Minister of the country has tendered his resignation right now. 19 of your fellow students have been killed in today's protests. What would you like to say today, Pushkar?
Thank you, sir. It was a moment just for the movement for the anti-corruption, but due to some guspetias in our movement, the movement was taken very cruelty. Many casualties were there, but the main objective, main motto for this movement was the anti-corruption of the government.
Okay, Rajneesh, things are looking quite bad. That death toll has already hit 19. It could go up. I'm presuming that the number must be higher than that if this is the official figure right now. What are you hearing? A lot of political tension. The Home Minister has offered to resign as well. Rajneesh, what's the latest?
Shiv, I'm currently at ground zero at the moment. It's 8:53 the local time. And you could see, how bad this news, police and also ambulances moving here and there. I'm just in front of one of the hospitals at ground zero at the moment. There are 3 dead bodies inside the hospital. That's the doctor told me. I talked to the doctor, and he told me that the cases were quite serious, and the people, they were brought inside the hospital, especially the injured. This is like deep injuries. It's not small injuries. The doctor told me that, it's deep injuries. And it's not only just the case with this hospital. There's another hospital, across the street. It's called the civil hospital. There are more casualties out there, more injured people. There's another hospital, the trauma center. There are more casualties and more injured people out there as well. So this seems to be a quite tragic day in Nepal's political history, where 19 youths, especially students, lost their life demanding an end to corruption in the country, and also requesting for freedom and rights for people. Shiv. So this seems to be a tragic day in Nepal's history.
I'm just curious. How are people communicating with each other right now in Nepal? How are students communicating with each other with all these social media apps banned?
That's a great question, Shiv. As you know, 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, are banned. But there are few that are being operating right now, just like the Viber is operating. So people are using Viber. People are also using TikTok, which is also is also operating in Nepal. So TikTok is another platform, and some people are using VPN as well. So they're using VPN to communicate. It's not an easy task, easy job. So many people, large majority of Nepalese are addicted, or they're using Facebook, especially the Reels and other things out there. But which is, they have been affected with the social media ban. But the JNG, this evening, and they said that their protest was primarily for corruption. Definitely the issue of there, but primarily it was related to to end the corruption. And with the cabinet meeting that happened, in the cabinet meeting, the Home Minister, he resigned, and today has not been an easy day for everyone, for protesters, for the security persons, and for politically as well. A lot of meetings and in sessions ongoing, and protesters and leaders were asking for the resignation of the Home Minister. In the evening, he submitted his resignation.
पुष्कर, आप क्या चाहते हो? आप कल भी आप प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे काठमांडू में? कल भी प्रोटेस्ट होगा इतना बड़ा? Okay, that's a very that's a bad line, I'm guessing, because of the because of
अभी आगे माहौल में चाहते हैं इस तरह से हमने आंदोलन के लिए.
I apologize to our viewers profusely for that very bad quality audio. I understand that this might be because there's a crackdown on the internet in Nepal. To have been able to even been able to get Rajneesh and Pushkar live for those few minutes, because that's how precarious the situation actually is in Nepal. These images have been going viral all across the world. Corruption, the ban on social media apps continues to consume that country, and it isn't a small story. 19 people are dead. We offer our condolences to all of those families and hope for peace in Nepal. NDTV's crew will be on the ground first thing tomorrow, where we will be reporting and telling you how things actually go. And we're starting with some breaking news once again now, with the next big escalation in the India-US crossfire over tariffs. Trump's top trade aide and advisor on tariffs, Pete Navarro, has just fired another shot. He has called it blood money. Blood money, the money that India pays to Russia for oil purchases. Pete Navarro has called it blood money, continuing his narrative and rant, accusing India of weaponizing Russia for the Ukraine war. This is Pete Navarro once again, just 2 days after Modi and Trump appeared to cool things down and ease off tensions between the two countries in what has been a very injurious one-sided crossfire between the United States and India. Well, Peter Navarro has just jumped into the fire once again to say it is blood money that India is paying for the purchase of Russian oil and funding the Russian war machine in Ukraine. Peter Navarro, President Trump's chief trade advisor and chief attack dog in the tariff offensive on India, is having a full-blown implosion on the internet. After his latest anti-India tweets were community fact-checked by users, the man who has made his current career out of venom and vitriol has been forced into an uncharacteristic public tantrum. You just heard him talk about blood money, but here's things going even worse for him. He's even taken aim at Elon Musk, the owner of X or Twitter, a man who famously called Navarro a moron not long ago. For those who have watched Team Trump's relentless attacks on India with growing anger, this was a moment of Schadenfreude, a cathartic spectacle of a man being cut to size by the simple force of facts on social media. But to spend too much time enjoying Navarro's humiliation is to miss the bigger picture. Sure, Navarro's an important man, but he isn't the top dog. Because even as Navarro rages online, Donald Trump broke his own cycle of hostility with unusually warm words for Prime Minister Modi on Friday, triggering a swift, equally warm acknowledgement from the Prime Minister on Saturday. Now, for the first time in weeks, there was a 48-hour lull in what has otherwise been a one-sided barrage of hostilities. The question now is whether this was just a temporary cool-off or the first sign of a deliberate reset. Was this Trump recalibrating his playbook after realizing his tariff tantrums weren't forcing New Delhi to heal? Or is this simply the quiet before a much bigger storm? It is tempting to dismiss Trump as unpredictable, erratic, and temperamental. The truth is that there is a method to what looks like madness. I call it strategic schizophrenia. India must not confuse a few sweet words with any lasting effect. They are at best a pause, at worst an attempt to lull India to a false sense of comfort if the next blow actually lands. Because remember, the ultimate goal is a trade deal that Trump wants to be in his favor. And that next blow could be far more painful. From a fresh onslaught on H-1B visas to televised crackdowns on undocumented chains to yet the tariff shock. India must be prepared for all eventualities and recognize the old equilibrium with Washington is now far from us. The relationship is being rewritten in real time, and perhaps nothing will ever be the same again. Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, international relations commentator, is with me live. Sushant, welcome. Thank you for your time here on India Matters. It's tempting to dwell just on Peter Navarro, but I'm not going to ask you about him because, that's become the face of the operation, as it were, because he's the one doing most of the talking. Just before I came to this, he had to say where he called it blood money that India is paying. It's become a very predictable kind of meltdown and spectacle. You've seen it, Sushant. The real question is, it's been 2 days since that, moment of temporary sort of bromance, familiar bromance between Modi and Trump. Nobody is really lulled by it. The question is, what happens now? What is happening in the background? Are the two sides talking a little bit more now that the two leaders have for the first time said some kind words to each other? What do you think?
So, Shiv, on Navarro, quite clearly it's pointless talking about him because when somebody combines utter ignorance with a lot of arrogance, then you can't really argue or, have a sensible conversation with a man. Somebody who claims that he's an economics wizard and says that tariffs are tax cuts, then I think that's the end of the argument. You can't argue with that guy anymore. And I think it speaks volumes for Elon Musk's brilliance that he calls Navarro a moron. I don't think there's anything else to be said for this guy. But on the more substantive issue, look, if indeed there has been a kind of a rethinking.
Okay, we've lost that link with Sushant Sareen as well. We'll try and re-establish that link. But Navarro is the face of what has been a steady deterioration in ties. On Saturday, Prime Minister Modi... Okay, Sushant, we lost you for a moment. Go on, continue.
Yeah, no, I was saying that if Trump has thought that he's going to reset, then some of his cronies haven't got the memo as yet, right? Which is why you see his economic advisor talk about ramping up some kind of sanctions, taking stronger measures. Scott Bessent hasn't backed off, and you have Navarro shooting his mouth off. So there is that question which comes into play. But I think there is also a lot of people in the United States system who are probably thinking of how to find a way to back down from the high horse they had climbed. Now, clearly, there are going to be issues on how they're going to be able to do it so that India can proclaim victory and so can Trump say that, he has gotten what he wanted from India. It's not going to be easy, and perhaps it's not going to happen in a matter of days. It might take a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months before something comes out of it. And then whatever was already on the table, they sign on it, but they pretend that something new has come on the table, which makes it more palatable. Now, that is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, again, I don't think we should discount that. And frankly, H-1B visas is a non-issue as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really affect us that badly. It affects a few individuals, but doesn't affect India so badly. It affects the Americans much worse if they have to get the talent from within their country. And quite clearly, as we've seen in the South Korean case, all those workers who were arrested and chained, and that hasn't gone down well in South Korea.
Yeah.
And the reason those guys were brought in is, which Trump himself admits, that if you don't have the expertise, you get it from outside, which is what happened. And when all these MAGA madcaps claim that, there are skilled workers in America, they might be skilled in maybe carpentry or something like that, but they're not skilled in, the technology of batteries or building up a factory. So H-1B is not my issue. But yes, if they raise the tariffs further and they extend tariffs to goods which are currently exempt, then there